Hello, welcome to District Spotlight. I am Brianna and I am here with Miss Wanda of Miss Wanda's Hair Salon right there on Georgia Avenue. Miss Wanda, thank you so much for coming.
Oh, thank you so much for having me.
Lovely. Before, of course, I do my interviews, I have to plug the lovely Listen Vision Studios, home of these lovely studio memberships where you get awesome services for very low prices. You can get so much. There are three different levels: silver, gold, and platinum. So make sure you come on in, visit us across the street from Howard University, 2622 Georgia Avenue. So walk on in and just ask about our services. We'll be happy to help you. Now, Miss Wanda.
Yes.
Okay, so first, I want you to tell us a little bit about your hair salon and how you established yours.
Okay. Well, right now we're Wanda's on Seventh, at 1851 Seventh Street Northwest. We've been there for since 2003, but we relocated with new development, and we moved to 2624 Georgia Avenue, right next to Listen Vision. And so now we're back down to Seventh Street at 1851 Seventh Street, where we do full service spa. Pedicures, manicures, women and men's services. We have the best barbers in town, and we are open 7 days a week,
Lovely. And you also specialize in natural hair.
especially natural hair. We find more now that more people are going natural and into more healthier hair. So we definitely do a lot of natural hair now. We do the braiding, pressing curls, blowouts, twist, gel twists, natural twists. So we do a lot of natural hair.
So what were some difficulties you faced while you were establishing Miss Wanda's?
Well, some of the difficulties was, leaving Wanda's Hair Studio to come on Georgia Avenue. We had to find a location that was comfortable for our clients to be able to reach us and not go a far distance. And we were very fortunate to come to 2624 Georgia Avenue. And in the process of those 4.5 years, getting back down to 7th Street where we were originally, with development, developers, trying to put a whole new salon back together on a very high end was a lot of work. But it was work worthwhile, but it was a tremendous amount of work.
Yeah.
We had to do a full construction
Oh, wow.
on a vanilla shell, so it was just 4 walls, so we had to work with all of that. And it took us 4 years.
Wow. What made you want to open your own business?
I really wanted to, when I was young, I wanted to be a hairstylist. And I worked at Natural Motions for 18 years. And working with Natural Motions and Liz, I was in charge of a lot of things. They practically ran the whole salon.
Okay.
In the later years, the highest paid stylist there. So
Oh.
I might as well, do the management there. But it was a very wonderful place to work.
Yeah.
And from there I branched off to say, what could I do for me, and what other risings could I do, So I set out to open my own salon, and after leaving her in 6 months, I opened my very first salon at 1201 U Street Northwest, and we were over there for about 8 years. Wonderful location, but we outgrown our space. We had 15 chairs, and so I wanted something different. So I went to find other spaces that was larger than that one, and that's when we found 1851 7th Street, and in 2003. And in 4 months we were in there, and it was just a wonderful place to be. I mean, yeah, we were booked all the time, just like we are now. So 7th and T Street is the corner.
That's the corner.
That's the corner.
That's the corner. So, what is it like being a black business owner?
A black
Here.
business owner is challenging. It's challenging in the marketplace because some people don't take hairdressers and barbers as seriously as they should. We're just like the backbone of the community. Everyone comes to us for questions, places to be, hear what's going on today. Just a place where they can just sit back and relax
Yeah.
and get their head done. So it's a therapy, it's a refuge. It's an important part of the
Mm-hmm.
community, and so it's a very important part of the community. So when people come in our space and they feel comfortable and relaxed, and we see them once, twice
Yeah.
a week, every 2 weeks, and often, and they bring their children and their family members, that means a lot.
Mm-hmm. It's
Um,
like a safe haven kind.
Very much so,
Mm-hmm.
yes. So, but some of the challenges is like it's a lot of work. You have to make sure that your staff is happy,
Mm-hmm.
make sure that your clients are happy. You make
Mm-hmm.
sure that overhead is met. It can get expensive at times.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's not. It fluctuates up and down, but to be able to navigate it like a ship and make sure it sails.
Yes. So
Hmm.
that's something you've definitely had to take your time to, learn
Hmm.
being a business owner. Have you ever found some moments when you're kind of just like, look, I'm about to shut down the shop for the day. Nobody's getting their hair done. Nobody's getting their pedicures. I'm stressed.
Never the first day. I love
Never.
what I do.
That's
I love what
amazing.
I do. I love the people. I love the energy.
Mm-hmm.
It's the whole foundation. I love it. It gets hard at times,
Mm-hmm.
but it's never time. I would just say, well, look, no, let me just. Actually, maybe I shouldn't have done this. No, we just work it out.
That's amazing.
Hmm.
So another thing I do want to touch on is gentrification
Okay.
because DC is going through a lot of it, especially this area right here, right actually where your salon is. So
Hmm.
has it affected you in any way?
Very much so.
Mm-hmm.
Very much so. When I first came to Seventh Street, I they would we, all the retailers were told that they were going to be out in
Mm-hmm.
30 to 60 days,
Mm.
just like that, just be out.
That's scary.
Yeah, it was scary. It wasn't scary. I mean, I was insulted,
Mm-hmm.
but I had a 10-year lease, so I don't know what they were talking about. But
You said who's gonna be out? Not
yeah, I
me.
just said we'll see. But it was just. But gentrification is hard, and for myself, I've found a way to protect myself because I came in prepared.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a lot of merchants and retailers who were there 30 and 40 years, and
Yeah.
gentrification came in, and then they had no place to go. I mean, rent was like $400 for the month, and
Mm.
so, and then being, it became your home after so many years, 10 years,
Yeah.
but 30 and 40 years being in one location and being part of the community, they was just forced out, and for myself, we had to go through, um, come to an understanding that I'm going to be here.
Right.
I'm going to be here. I don't mind building new buildings as long as the community still be here and a part of
Mm-hmm.
that.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was something very hard for them to understand, very hard for them to understand. But at the end of the day, you know who wins. And
You
we're back. Yeah, I
won.
did. And I'm back in the community. But gentrification is really, really hard. And it's hard for a lot of areas because a lot of families that were in the community when I first came are not there anymore.
Right. Yeah.
So gentrification is real.
Mm. Yeah. Well, I'm glad that you're still here and you're standing stronger than ever.
I am too in my community. Um, they are very happy that that I did come back. They're happy to patronize me. New people in the neighborhood come up and they give me a hug and they say, "Well, I know what you had to go through, and you're back, and
Mm-hmm.
we commend you for that." So the love has been outstanding,
Yeah.
But what really makes me happy is just being back, being part of the community, showing the community that we can stand together and be in the community as one. Multicultural cultures are wonderful, but we all need to be together in that one
Yeah.
community, especially on 7th and T Street that has so much history there.
Absolutely. I
Hmm.
totally agree. And speaking of your patrons, every time I walk by your shop, it is packed full of people. Like
Thank you.
it's amazing. Congratulations on all your success. Like it's very much well earned. Who are some of your, more famous clients? Like some people that walk through the door, then you're like, oh my goodness, I'm about to do her hair.
Well, we've had Dr. Ife Williams
Mm-hmm.
from the National Council of Black Women.
Mm.
She came in, and Janice, she's the president of the National Council of Negro Women.
Mm.
We've had Clinton Portis, Dick Gregory. We've had Sunday Carter, Red Grant. We've had um, we have quite a few
Mm-hmm.
that's come through, and as far as celebrity status. But what's really excites me is the clients who've been here before we moved,
Right.
and when they come in, it's just a party. You know,
Yes.
they just so happy to be back home in
Mm-hmm.
their salon. And what also is exciting for me is when the little kids has grown up and Miss Wanda, you're back, you're back.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Then that melts my heart, you know. So
Yeah.
it's so like you said, we're always so crowded.
Mm-hmm.
We're packed in a salon, but and things that that makes me happy is that when Howard students go away and then they come back
Mm-hmm.
and Miss Wanda, you're here, you know, and some of the things that they might have remembered me from on Georgia Avenue, 7th Street, their first year of college. Some of them are graduates, and they come back and
Mm-hmm.
say, Miss Wanda, I remember when it was 2 floors, but you're back. The
Yeah.
place is amazing, and
It
I'll
is
be back.
amazing.
Oh, thank you.
It's so amazing.
Thank you so much for that. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so it's a lot that makes me happy
Oh,
there. Yeah.
that's lovely.
Mhm.
So, I know that this area, well, DC
Mhm.
is full of pop-up salons. Like there's always something new. There's
Mhm.
always like a beauty bar there or a new spa there. So, how do you deal with competition?
Well, I don't think it's competition out there. I think
Mm-hmm.
everybody do their own original thing,
Mm-hmm.
right? But I'm a veteran at doing things. I've been in the most popular salon in town, and I've been there for quite some time, and I've seen a lot of things and traveled. So
Mm-hmm.
it's things that for me that excites your clients, excite your community. So
Yeah.
you get involved with your community is one.
Mm-hmm.
The other is you have events in the salon. Where our salon we have approximately 17 stations. So, but it's very mobile from inside. So we redirect our stations and our chairs, and we have a big open space. And
Okay.
we have art events.
Yeah,
Um,
you do.
we have
Mm-hmm.
art events, so we have featured artists, and people will showcase a featured artist, and people will come in and view artwork. We have art all night.
Mm-hmm.
We're getting ready to have VIP parties from the Howard Theater at night. So,
Nice.
and so we have little certain events. Sipping shops,
Mm-hmm.
networking parties
Mm-hmm.
on like Sunday evenings and late nights. From 9 to maybe 2. So we have little events like that in the salon.
Nice. So it's like you're a salon slash lounge.
Pretty much,
That's very
yeah.
relaxing to have.
It is. It's relaxing. It's exciting. Our last all night event, we had over 1,800 people come
Oh
through.
my god.
So yeah, we get a large turnout.
Nice, nice, nice. So, you said that you don't really see it as competition because everyone does their own thing, and that's. I'm really happy that you said that because I know that the beauty industry is very competitive overall.
Hmm.
So for you to have more of a positive outlook, with that industry, that's really amazing. I'm sure that's very influential for people who are watching who want to be in your shoes, have their own shop, and do hair and this, that, and the third. So, what is a piece of advice that you want to share with someone who wants to follow in your footsteps?
Well, just like you said, you have to be very confident
Mm-hmm.
in yourself, on who you are, what you want to be, what your demographics are, and how you're going to cater to your community. One of the advantages that I have that I grew up in Detroit Park, and
Mm.
so my mother lived there, who's still living,
Mm-hmm.
90 years young.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
so she's been living there
That's
for
a
over
blessing.
a true blessing,
Mm-hmm.
and she's been living over that way for over 60 years. So knowing the community and the community knowing you, I'm very
Mm-hmm.
fortunate to be in a community that I grew up in, went to school in, and know a lot of people in, and met a lot of people, and just the way that you reach out to your community, they'll reach out to you. So
Yeah.
you do that for your whatever area that you're working in, and see who the people that you want to reach out to, and cater to them. You know what their needs are. If they was near college, if they're near office buildings, um, subway stations, things of that sort. How do you reach the people that you want to service,
Right.
and reach out to them and be very positive of what their needs are.
I think that your business is it specializes in that because you have that family feel. Because a lot of places you just kind of go get your hair done, get your nails done, you just leave out. But sometimes people go in there just to chill. And so it's very family oriented, which is really warm and makes people really want to go back.
That's important. Even in growing up and when I went to hair salons myself, and how people received me was important. And a lot of times you was just the name on the book and the person that pays when they leave. You know, when our clients come in, we greet them. We find out what they need, what they want, who's their stylist or their barber, and we make sure that we acknowledge the fact that you're there, and we cater to you to make sure that you with your operator and that your service is good, and that you're in and out on a timely manner. But most important, feel relaxed while you wait.
Nice. Well, thank you. Oh, remind also our audience how they can get in contact with Miss Wanda's Hair Salon when they want to book their next appointment. Let them know.
Yes, it's Wanda's on 7th, 1851 7th Street Northwest. And our phone number is 202-621-7119. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having. Oh, sorry. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
We'll be right back on District Spotlight with my next guest. Stay tuned. Hello, welcome back to District Spotlight. I'm Brianna. This is my new guest.
Yes.
Please introduce yourself.
Hello, my name is Shakir McDonald. I'm the founder and CEO of the B Academy, an after-school and out-of-school tutoring program based in the DC metropolitan area. So we're super excited to be here.
Yes, I'm super excited to have you. I love pillars in the education community, but you know what else I love?
What's that?
The education you can receive here at Listen Vision Studios. If you come to Listen Vision Academy and take advantage of our intro to beat making, Pro Tools 101, Turntablism 101, everything you need to know is here at Listen Vision Studios, right across the street from the Mecca, Howard University. And you were also an alum
Absolutely.
of Howard. So you absolutely have to make sure you come over and take advantage of everything we have to offer here at Listen Vision Studios.
For sure.
Now, the Academy.
Yes.
So you said that you're after school.
After school and out of school. So yes, actually BEE is an acronym, and
Yeah.
it really embodies our mission, which is we believe that every child is brilliant, and we help them through education to realize their potential and empower them to success, not only in school but in life, because they're a whole person. We want to make sure that we're not just focusing on the books. So we spend a lot of time working on character education and things of that nature, and we actually have an award-winning character education program that we developed as a result of the time that we've been doing this program.
Nice. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. It's fashioned after the Japanese practice of juku, which are cram schools.
Okay.
So cram schools are essentially after-school programs where students come and they get academic support. They get exposure to different enrichment opportunities, music, chess, things of that nature. So essentially, we provide our kids after school with what some of the top-notch private schools provide those children with, whether it's robotics, music instruction, so they learn to read and play. Chess
Nice.
instruction. We have a competitive chess team that travels throughout the area and competes in different tournaments. Yeah, so that's really the idea.
That's amazing.
Absolutely. Thank you.
So what made you want to go the after school route?
Great question. Actually, as you said, I graduated from Howard University, and I actually graduated with a business major. I graduated in business, and during the time that I was at Howard, I spent a lot of time doing tutoring and things of that nature after school. You know, they have a lot of different community-based organizations. And so what I realized, I actually ended up getting pregnant with my daughter my last year, and I realized that I wanted to do more than just make $1. I wanted to make a difference.
Right.
And
oh,
so
I like that.
I wanted to ensure that, you know, I didn't just ensure that she was okay, but that I made sure that other children were okay too. So I went into education, and I actually started teaching straight out of Howard. 4th, 5th, and 6th grade. I taught, and I loved it. I fell in love with education. One of the challenges that I ran into very early on, though, is that I would send kids home with homework, and they'd come back the next day, and they say, well, my mom said I didn't have to do it, or my daycare provider said I didn't have to do it, and I couldn't understand why. What I didn't realize at the time was that the illiteracy rate in D.C. was through the roof at that time. And so I was essentially sending kids home with homework, and no one could support them. And so I constantly ran into children who were having academic difficulties. And so, I mean, I see the commercials. I said, well, go to XYZ or this place. And I had a grandmother who actually had to refinance her home to pay for tutoring.
Wow.
And I said, well, maybe there's something here. But even that wasn't enough for me, honestly. I ended up leaving the classroom in D.C., and I was going to teach in Prince George's County. But the kids in my class, their parents contacted me and said, well, would you consider tutoring our kids? And so I said, sure. 2 or 3 kids in my basement, no big deal. 2 or 3 kids turned into about 30. And my husband said, oh, no, you're going to have to get these kids out of here.
Right.
So
right.
we went right into the summer, and we ended up having a summer camp, and those parents literally, they just wanted to stay. And so the business actually formed kind of organically, I guess you could say. And so we ended up... now, 13 years later, we have kids out of college and now be alumni. So
that's amazing.
Thank you.
That's great.
Thank you.
I really love to hear stories like that. I'm actually gonna get into that a little bit later also. On your site, you said that basically B Academy provides individualized instructions to meet the unique physical, intellectual, emotional, and social needs of children.
Absolutely.
So, can you explain why that's all of that is important?
Well, it kind of goes back to what I explained about our mission. We're dealing with whole children, not just academic vessels. And specifically with African American children, so much of what we encounter from an educational perspective is it's given through a lens that is nuanced because we have our own experience that we bring to the table as it relates to education. And honestly, some things we have to be honestly, a lot of times we're miseducated. And so a lot of what we do after school is ensure that one, that our children know who they are. Culture is a big part of what we do after school because if a child doesn't know and love who they are, you can't really teach them anything.
Absolutely.
And so a big part of what we do after school is really demystifying who they understand they are. And then starting from there. And so that's more of the intellectual and emotional part. The physical part is making sure that there's opportunities for them to be physical. Especially for boys. And so probably we're 70% boys, 30% girls. And parents find that our program is ideal for boys because it's sort of Montessori-esque in that it's very hands-on. Whether it's robotics, Tai Chi, yoga, whatever it is. We really try to make sure that we're providing opportunities for boys to experience learning in different ways. So if we have experiential learners or kinesthetic learners, we're providing opportunities for them to learn because so much of what they learn in school is not that way. Schools are really geared towards girls and their ability to kind of sit still and learn visually and in an auditory way.
Yeah.
Most boys are not, they don't learn that way.
Yeah, their attention span is a little shorter.
And they're very kinesthetic by nature. And so what we do after school is provide a learning experience where it really captures boys' imagination. So for African American boys, that's so important. You know, when you understand that statistically, they build prisons based on third grade reading scores.
Wow.
So they understand that there's a correlation between a child, specifically an African American male child or Hispanic male child. There's a correlation between his ability to read on grade level versus his ability to be able to successfully navigate adulthood without ending up in prison. So I always tell my coaches, you know, the cure to cancer could be in these four walls, meaning at the B Academy. And it's not our job necessarily to teach these kids rocket science, but just to maybe expose them to sciences in a way that excites them and that gets them to, you know, want to learn more.
Yeah.
Because we want to encourage independent learning. Because in the classroom, you know, learning stops when the teacher says stop. But at the B Academy, learning is an ongoing process. So that's something that we really embody. So when we're talking about PIEs or the physical, intellectual, emotional, and social needs of children, we want to make sure that we're addressing the whole child and not just the academic portion.
Yeah, and I'm glad that you mentioned that about it's an ongoing process.
Absolutely.
Because a lot of times once 2:30 hits and that bell rings, everything you just taught them for the last hour and a half is just out the window.
It's statistically they call the hours of 2 to 6 the danger zone hours because those are the hours where young people are most likely to either be harmed or to cause harm, to cause trouble or to be in trouble. So those hours become very critical in terms of ensuring that they're safe, but they're also very critical hours in terms of ensuring that you're reinforcing school day demands.
Right.
And so what it does is it gives us an opportunity to, after school, support what happened during the school day. So when we're helping our children with homework, when we're tutoring them, when we assess them when they start our program to know where their strengths are, where their struggles are, it gives us a baseline of what they should be doing and what they should know. And then when the teacher doesn't assign homework, we have a basis. We're not just giving them worksheets. We're giving them a specific work that's specific to their needs. So it's prescribed by the assessment. So it's very meaningful academic opportunities after school. So our kids do well. We maintain about an 83% honor roll rate. Our kids do really, really well. But they do well because they're supported after school.
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense. Also, mixing in, like you said, the robotics and all different aspects, I find that to be very important to have that in a child's life early, because
Absolutely.
growing up, even though they're young, they're very impressionable.
Absolutely.
So it's important to introduce them to things like that, because as they get older, they're going to grow appreciation for it.
Sure.
Because shout out to my mom for putting me in ballet classes when I was extra young, because now it gives me an appreciation for art.
Absolutely.
And
that's incredibly important, especially at the younger years. One of the things that we really spend a lot of time on is really making sure that we're exposing the kids to different cultural opportunities and artistic opportunities. Because when school budgets get hit, those are the first things to go.
Right.
So by exposing our kids to foreign language, we do 3 foreign languages during the school year. We do Spanish, French, and Japanese. And I joke with parents that we do functional foreign language and not fluent foreign language. Again, with the idea being we want to light the fire, not fill the bucket. So if we find that they're interested in Japanese, that's an opportunity for parents to then extend the learning into the home, into the weekend opportunities, and things of that nature. So our kids, it's always funny, we always take a trip based on that language. So we always go to this Japanese steakhouse in our area, but no one speaks Japanese. And it's always so disappointing for the kids, because they go to this place and they're so excited to say all their new words and to practice. And no one speaks Japanese, so it's
they couldn't even pretend.
And we've even tried different Japanese steakhouses, and nothing works. So yeah, no one can speak Japanese at this place. Just FYI. Just so you know. But so that's always fun. But just the idea, really teaching, especially for our kids. For so many of our kids, their world is within a 1 mile radius of their home. And so what we do at the B Academy is really to expose the kids and do so responsibly early, so that they understand that we live in a global society. So whether we're learning about food and cooking foods from a different culture, because there's also a cooking component in our program. So if we're learning.
Lovely.
Yeah,
I
it's
love
awesome.
that.
So when you get kids that come in whose parents tell us that they only eat chicken nuggets and French fries,
Yeah.
but yet they're trying sushi or kimchi for the first time,
That's
because we're learning about it
amazing.
is. And so it is. And so it's exciting for the parents, but it's also exciting for the students, because they're getting a chance to really be able to appreciate culture. And so I'm a firm believer that our children don't not do as well because they're less intelligent, because statistics show that when they enter school, they're ahead of most other groups culturally. But something happens in that pipeline where our students lose interest, and then they lose aptitude. And so I believe that our children aren't doing as well because they're not as exposed as other people. During the summers where statistically our kids do worse in terms of summer brain drain and summer learning loss, our kids don't get a chance to they don't take time off. And when you look at the culture of juku and things like that in other countries, other countries have year-round school because they understand that students can learn a lot overnight.
Yeah.
So you give a student that's already behind an entire 3 months off of school and no reinforcement at all. I noticed in the classroom, when I was in the classroom, probably until November, we were reviewing everything that they lost during the course of the summer. So there's so much learning that's lost. But at the B Academy, our students don't get an opportunity to lose anything, because we're constantly kind of plugging away at it.
Yeah, it's that consistency that makes it
that
stick.
continuous learning environment.
Yeah.
And so what it does is provide our kids the same advantages that other kids in Montgomery County and surrounding counties get. They're getting robotics, they're getting chess, they're getting these things. And so they have the same advantages. We have kids at Morehouse right now. We have 2 young men actually at Morehouse. We have a young lady at Towson, a young lady who's actually Miss Teen DC, one of our alum. Yeah, really exciting. She's actually a Millennium Gates Scholar. So super exciting. So we definitely had a great deal of success with the program. And it's exciting because when you're talking about an after-school program, people tend to neglect those after-school hours. But when you think about it in context, we essentially spend more time with these children than any other adult in their lives.
Yeah.
We spend a concentrated 3 to 4 hour block with these children daily. No individual teacher does that during the course of their day because they're going from teacher to teacher. Their parents don't even get to do that during the course of their day. So those after school hours and the time that's spent after school is so important because it really is time to cement not only cognitive concepts, but also character. And that's really a big part of why and how we developed our character education program.
Absolutely. And that goes hand in hand with building their confidence.
Absolutely.
Because I'm glad that you mentioned about African American students. I know that sometimes we can be kind of closed-minded when it comes on to certain
Sure.
things. And I've myself experienced, going up to one of my friends and saying, "Oh, you want to try this sushi roll?" And she's like, "Girl, what am I going to do with you know
Right,
what I mean?"
right.
And it didn't hurt me because I was
Sure.
confident. Like, "Oh, well, there's nothing wrong with me and there's nothing wrong with you."
Sure.
But we're just two different people
We are. And it had been exposed differently.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So when it comes on to teaching, because you teach pre-K to
Well, our
12.
core programming is we have what we call our High Five. So our High Five is our core or our flagship, program is our after school program. That program is kindergarten through 8th grade. And so we work with students after school from whatever time they get out of school until 6:30 or so. And then we have our tutoring program that takes place in the evening. And that's our bug or bringing up grades program. And that's in the evening. And that's where we work with our some of our elementary school students, but also our middle and high school students. In addition to that, we have our widespread academic support program, or our WASP program, which is where we offer Saturday courses. We have like reading for boys or reading for girls or math for girls or STEM for girls, those kind of things. Classes that are more focused on a specific goal or theme as opposed to individual needs.
Yeah.
In addition to that, we also have our Beetle program, which is our mentoring and tutoring program, which is for students. We've actually worked with students as old as 24. We actually had a partnership with Department of Youth and Rehabilitation Services here in D.C., where we worked with young people coming out of the juvenile justice system to help them get their diplomas and their GEDs.
Nice.
And so we actually did that for a few years and was very successful with respect to that. And so that's a big part of what we do as well, the tutoring and mentoring piece. We call it coaching. So we coach kids to success, not just academically, but socially as well. And we actually just ended a very successful partnership with Prince George's County Public Schools, where they actually put us into two of their transforming neighborhoods, where some of the schools were some of the more challenged schools. And we actually brought our program there. So it was like a B Academy in a Box sort of program.
Okay.
And so that was really exciting because we got to see firsthand, it's one thing to be able to do something successfully in your own space and under your own circumstances, but to be able to take and transfer right, transfer your successes elsewhere and prove that the model is in fact successful was a very exciting notion, and we were able to do that for 2 years. We 2 years and 2 summers we spent working with those students, and very successfully. So
how do you deal with because I'm not gonna lie, there are some people who are kind of like, school's not for everybody.
Right.
So how do you deal with the students who kind of have that I'm just going to give up mentality when it comes on to learning?
Right. Well, school is not for everyone.
Right.
And I don't, school is not for everyone, but education is for everyone.
Right.
And so, as much as I like to joke, I like to say, I've learned more outside of school than I've learned in school. And I think that that's important, especially when, for us at the B Academy, we're an academic program, and we make no apologies about that. That's who we are. That's what we do. But so much of our learning takes place outside of the books.
Right.
And so whether we're teaching kids character education or whatever the case might be, oftentimes they'll never look at a book. They'll never have to, because we want them to understand that learning takes place everywhere they are and everywhere they do, and there's learning to be had. So,
and it makes them excited to want to learn once they step away from the academy and they go home.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
First, so you've been in this, you've been doing this for 13 years?
Yes,
Yeah,
ma'am.
13 years. So with your 13 years of experience in the education, system, what are some flaws you kind of see in the education, or not flaws, but something that you would want to change?
Sure. Probably the biggest thing is I think there's a problem of expectation. I think the expectations are very low for our young people. And, you have 2-year-olds that can control a smartphone, that can turn it on, turn it off, go to YouTube, pick a video, and so forth. These kids are brilliant. And the problem, though, is that education says you have to wait for me, well, school says you have to wait for me. You have to wait until you're in kindergarten to learn this. You have to wait until you're in third grade to learn this. When the teacher says stop, you stop. When the teacher says start, you start. The problem with education is that it's based on the way teachers teach and not the way students learn. So when there's an expectation that when all students are going to learn and all students are capable of learning, the education system is different. The way we approach education is different.
Right.
But the challenge is that expectation is not there. You know, you have a lot of teachers who are great at teaching but not reaching students.
Yeah.
And so that to me is the biggest challenge with respect to the education system right now. I think you have futuristic kids, but you have 8-track teachers. And so
That's
there
so
has
true.
there has to be a connection in terms of getting because the kids are getting the education regardless, whether it's on YouTube or Google, they're getting it. We just have to make sure as educators that we're a part of the process and not so stuck in our ways that we're not allowing them to learn that way.
Yeah, because it's definitely a really big turnoff for students who feel like the instructor is talking at them
Absolutely.
and not to them.
Sure. I mean, that's a big thing. And so at the B Academy, one of the things that we do is, that's why we call ourselves coaches. Our job is to ensure that students understand that learning is a process that they have to undertake. So we give them skills because we want them to know that, you know, when we're not there, that they can successfully navigate the education system on their own, whether it's learning how to properly read a dictionary. We tell kids to look words up all the time, but we don't even teach them how to use a dictionary. That's a skill.
Yeah.
So we expect things of students that we haven't taught them. So a big part of what we do is really skill acquisition. So that's really the big difference between our program and I think maybe other programs that are solely focused on academics, is that we really focus on the whole child and making sure that they're successful long term.
Great. Nice. So for your coaches, if there's anyone out there who would like to be a part of the Academy and help be a coach or volunteer, how do they go about that?
Well, they can definitely check out our website, www.beeacademy.com, www.beeacademy.com. Check out our website and give us a call. We're always looking for young people, specifically young people who are in education, because it's difficult to tell young people that they need to take their education seriously when your staff don't.
Yes.
So we specifically hire young people who are serious about their own education because our kids need to see what they desire to be. So they need to see African American men and young men and women who are in college, who are going through, who value education.
Right.
You know, they look up to their sports coaches because they're visible. So giving our kids engineers to look at, or future engineers or future doctors to look at and aspire towards, because they value education, it is a amazing tool that we found works well to ensure that our kids are successful.
And also, just a reminder, you said you're located in Hyattsville.
We are.
Okay.
We are Landover, technically, right between FedEx Field and the Boulevard.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. So that's beeacademy.com.
Yes.
.com. Okay,
or if
not
you're
.org.
interested in the B Academy, we can come to a school near you.
Oh, and
We
they
take
deliver.
our show on the road. There you go.
They deliver
There
their
you go.
services.
Achievement to go. There you go.
Thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
coming on.
It's been a pleasure.
It's been a pleasure talking to you. You're actually your whole program is just amazing.
Thank you.
Because I really, really appreciate it, because you just make learning a lot more fun.
Absolutely.
And I just really appreciate you and other people in the community who's doing what you're doing.
Thank you.
So Listen Vision thanks you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And I thank you for watching. And please...
Go Bison.
Yes, go Bison! Go Bison. So please tune in next week. District Spotlight here at Listen Vision Studios. I am Brianna. Follow me at _Hey Slim, 2 Y's, 2 M's, please. And I will follow back. Have a good day.
I gave my best to some who only gave their worst, but that's alright. I never had your love, well you won't be the last, knowing you my first, so that's alright.